Welcome back to FloTrack, the Meetup, episode 9, presented by Wonderful Pistachios. I'm your host, Demitra Carter, fresh off of Grand Slam Miami. We have Johnny Pace with us today. Welcome back from China. How are you doing?
It's great to be back. I don't know what time it is, what time zone my body is on, but 2 weeks in China, straight off Boston. I had a blast.
I love it.
But I missed you guys, so I'm glad to be back.
I missed you too, Johnny. Yeah. We also have Nia. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm actually coming off a weekend off.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
What'd you do on your weekend off? You didn't watch any track, did you?
Oh, I watched so much track and a lot of game sevens. So yeah, a little. I was able to be a fan. So that was a nice change.
Nice.
I love it. No, I miss being a fan. I'm always actively in it.
In the mix.
Yes. We're gonna get right into this track and field deep dive. You literally said that you were watching all the things. We had Diamond League Shanghai, which you were at, and then we had Grand Slam Miami this past weekend. I'm going to start off with Grand Slam Miami, though. It was a fun time down there.
So what's the verdict? You had Jamaica as well, so you have the comparison point.
Yeah, I feel like Kingston was fun. I liked Kingston. I liked the setup of Kingston. Miami was fun too, but I'm biased. I think Kingston was more fun. I don't know if it's because it was the first one. And Miami, don't get me wrong, was really good.
It's Jamaica.
Yeah.
Jamaica's pretty sick. And then also there was so much uncertainty, and it was the first time we were seeing it happen.
Yeah, and I think that's what did it for me. But I will say, Miami was cool. An American record went down day one.
Yeah.
First race.
Did you talk to Masai after?
I did. And Masai, Tia Jones also went underneath the American record too, which is kind of crazy.
Wow. Yeah, 12:19.
Yeah.
So it's not all just some people knock Grand Slam because times aren't always fast, but clearly.
And we're going to put up that asset of Masai too. But yeah, I think what was crazy to me though was that she broke the American record. She didn't win.
Yeah, that's
she
crazy.
didn't get the 100K.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes Grand Slam so special. I think, Michael Johnson really, again, he was honing in on rivalries over times. He was saying that something that really brings in fandom for the sport is the storylines. So although Masai performed so well in the hurdles, to your point, she didn't win overall because there's still another portion of her group, which is the flat 100. So, I mean, and they even this, again, first time watching it from a broadcast perspective, as a fan.
I haven't seen the broadcast yet.
Yeah, they're last time on Grand Slam. They make it very story-like. It feels as though you're watching a show, because now it's okay, what's going on right now? What's at stake? What if you want to win this group or win the whole thing overall? What do you need to do? So
I like that. There's more context that comes into each event rather than just hopping into something.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
So it looked pretty good though on TV.
Yeah. And I also, speaking about it being on TV, it sounded like there was a good amount of Jamaicans too. I heard the horns.
Yeah, no, there was. Jamaicans seem to find their way into every track meet, but I like it. No, there was.
Miami's up the block basically.
Yeah, somebody made a post on, I think, Twitter. It was Jamaican athletes left with $350,000 from this Grand Slam alone.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's impressive. So.
As they should.
Yeah, I love it. Now, I know we had some other races. Was it short distance, long distance, men's, Josh Kerr?
Oh, yeah, my boy Josh. Yeah, that was the storyline I've been watching close. Josh Kerr winning the men's short distance. I would love to see it. I kind of predicted that something like that might happen. I wasn't sure if it would be this soon, but, he kind of, to be frank, kind of got humbled in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I think he got 7th or something. And to be fair, I think he'd only had a month or two of good training. And so I knew it was a matter of time. But to see him have that leap and win was really cool. Although I'd be interested on your perspective, because with Masai as well not winning her event group, Josh, wins the mile, or the 15 pretty soundly, but then gets 5th or 6th in the 8, and it's he's not even in the frame. And yet then you turn right back around and say, oh, he's the champion. And so it's that's something new in track. It's you can win really well, and then there's a strategy, but then still come out on top, even if you're not crossing the line first.
Yeah, that whole event group. I talked to Yard after, because Yard had a PB in the 800, which is of course you're going to get a PB. It's not your main event. But he was no, his race plans are getting better and better. It's the whole winning thing that he said he's trying to figure out still.
Yeah.
And then even Marco, he wins the 800 every time. But if he doesn't do better in the 15, you could win every time, and it doesn't really matter. You have to place better. So, yeah.
Definitely interesting.
It's fun to watch different tactics. How does Josh show up in an 800 when it's not his event?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Play a little more strategically, not always necessarily going to try to win that. And maybe, you got to think more about what's the point? I don't know how much math they're doing or if they're just competing each time.
No, I think they're doing like not math for real, but like enough math to know they need to like do better than someone.
Yeah.
I do know that.
I was gonna say, if I was trying to run a race and calculate in my head, am I winning 100K if I would beat this guy? I think they must have a good sense of like kind of where.
Grant Fisher was doing that a lot in Jamaica this time around as well. So I can imagine it's a thing where it's like, okay, if I want to leave with at least X amount of money, maybe the prize money, the top prize money may be out of the picture, just hypothetically speaking. I know I want to finish this place, this place, this place. So kind of as we talk about Grant Fisher, like the whole tactics of it all plays a huge factor, which the men's long distance group was very interesting to watch for me.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure he said, like, quoted, "You have to beat me in the first round if you want to win the whole thing." And that proved to be true. So I respect it.
I do too. I respect the adjustments he made because in the 3000, it was definitely slower than these men normally go. And it was who can outkick who, and that's hard. That's very difficult. But then coming back into 5,000, when Grant decided I'm going to separate myself because that doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
it was very impressive. I think seeing those adjustments, especially within a matter of 24 hours, as a fan, it's like, okay, so how are you going to come back from this? How are you going to do this and finish this and do that so you can get the ultimate prize money?
Yeah, and I feel like you see that more on the distance side of things. I think sprinters are actually sprinting, hurdlers are hurdling.
Well,
I think distance is fun to see.
I heard something crazy, and I got to double check this, but I'm pretty sure that the women's 5K at the Diamond League was faster than the men's 5K at the Grand
It probably was.
which would be wild, but
That's funny. I believe it though.
yeah.
Yeah. I do want to get into one specific athlete, Sydney McLaughlin-Lavroni. Obviously, she came there, did what she did, but she said that she's switching groups down to short hurdles at Philly.
'Cause. Why not?
Yeah, I think I'm more. We've seen her hurdle before, but I think I'm more excited to see her in like the flat 100.
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen that in some years, so that should be fun.
And is that just because she just want the fun of it, the challenge of it?
I didn't ask that. That's a good question, but I don't know.
She could just take her check if she stayed in her event group.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a Gabby Thomas, how her normal group is short sprints, but she went up to long sprints and then dominated.
Yeah. It's kind of, there's probably an element that it helps you sharpen up like for months down the road, that if you're kind of getting out of your main event, that could probably only help you. Like if you're getting better with your speed and trying some little more risky things earlier on.
Yeah, she often does. She does 100 hurdles like pretty often throughout the season. Not throughout the season, but like every season she does 100 hurdles.
Yeah.
Or sometimes she'll do like her non-dominant leg to make the non-dominant leg fat. Like the hurdle transfer makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The flat 100, I don't know what that's doing for her race. But I want to see it, to be very clear.
So would this mean she'd be like race Masai?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's
That's very
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes. I am very interested to see how this goes because I compare Sydney McLaughlin to maybe like, let's say, I'm not too sure how much into ball you guys are, to like maybe a Steph Curry. He shoots so well to the point where people kind of downplay how well he is defensively. I think that she is such a strong runner and such a great 400 hurdler that some people may downplay the type of flat speed that she may possess.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people may argue, oh, does she have, like, she's obviously a great, like, she could probably run an amazing 200, a great 400, a great 400 hurdles, but how can this translate to the short sprints? And I do think she's going to kind of shut those people up. She's a special talent. I don't think we've ever seen an athlete, like, arguably this dominant in the sport. And I think that's going to be something special.
I think it's going to be fun. I know haters always be talking about Sid because somebody was like, it's like she's not even running. Girl, she wanted to run 49 and didn't. Like she's trying. I promise she's trying her best.
Yeah.
And like I think because it looks easy, people have this misconception that she's not running hard. No, she is. She's just really, really good. So I'm excited for hurdles. It's going to be tough though because Masai and Tia Jones just won an American. Like they're dogs in their own event.
Oh, for sure.
But I do think that Sydney could still come away with the overall win because once again, just because you win one event doesn't mean
You win the whole thing.
exactly.
Even if you win an American record fashion.
Yeah, which is insane. My last two, just because I feel like we have to talk about it, Kenny and Allison Dos Santos still undefeated in Grand Slam. I feel like that's always important to note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1986 is a ridiculous time to come out with in May. Kenny Bednarek, I think he is really putting not only Grand Slam, but the entire world of athletics on notice.
Yeah.
Like, it seems as though he's gunning for that overall world championship gold medal. He's running great. Like everyone, I know Oblique Civilians, Arnell Hughes came second and third. And they look great. They're in great form. But the way Kenny looked so easy in front of them, he was stepping, the knee lifts was lifting, his arm, like he wasn't grimacing at all. And he had a sizable lead when you think about how it looks in the 200. But he was stepping.
He was.
I saw a quote from him that said that like he appreciated Grand Slam because it lets him, get in some of these events that maybe he wouldn't get accepted into in other competitions, but lets him showcase how really good he is.
Yeah.
Even in an event that's maybe not his main one. But yeah, he's on a roll right now.
Yeah.
And he's like probably one of the coolest dudes showing up at these things. He makes the whole experience.
Cool is a statement.
He's a performer.
He's a performer. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm entertained.
You take notice, turns ahead.
He okay, so they do this thing called drip check when you walk into Grand Slam. Like it's the day before during the press conference. And it's sponsored by Drip the Water.
Yeah.
So it's called Drip Check. And the first time in Kingston, Kenny came in with like a briefcase. You're like, what's in the briefcase? It was a headband. And then this time around, he came with like, I don't know, ninjas?
Ninjas, yeah.
Yeah, two ninjas.
They were doing like kung fu.
They were doing kung fu. They were doing hand signs.
They were so in sync.
Yeah. I know they practice. I might audition. If there's an opening for Philly or LA, because I won't be doing like interviews, you'll see me.
Let me know how much they pay. I might interview as well.
Yeah. I could really audition. But they ended up fighting. Not like physical fighting, but like they ended up like, there was like a scene in
Wow.
I was entertained.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a little fake fight, and then I guess Kenny stopped it. I'm not into all that, so I don't really know what happened. But
Who else had good outfits at the drip check?
I think so Sasha Zoya, but I feel like he's a bougie Parisian. Like that's the vibes he gives. Like he's not on the American level. His outfit was good. Brittany Brown was back, which was nice to see her. Her outfit was cute. Honestly, everybody's outfit was cute. Anna Hall, she had a little two-piece moment.
Love the purple.
Yeah.
How did Anna finish?
She did good. She got second in 400 hurdles. I can't remember the 400, but she did well.
That's cool.
And it was nice to see her back.
Definitely.
She hasn't done that in a minute. She said that 400 hurdles is her favorite race. And when her coach lets her run, she's happy. I'm like, that is a statement to make, especially as a multi. And then Marco came. He had his shirt unbuttoned. It was a little cute little moment. Everybody's outfit was cute. I have no shade to throw
like
for
that.
anybody.
I'm glad it's a part of the whole thing.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
No, they definitely should continue to do this. I hope they implement it in other parts of track and field, because I think something that Grand Slam does that a lot of people don't is they prioritize the fans. And fans are really invested in these runners. The same way if you're watching a TV show, you're invested into these characters, their plot, their character and story development. And the drip check is just a part of it, because you kind of, when you have like this fandom about an athlete, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I love them. I wonder what they're going to come and wear. You get a piece of them and their personality, because a lot of people love to express themselves in what they wear. So again, same way in other sports, I think this really does bridge the gap. So I think the drip check is more than just a drip check. It really does prioritize the fans and what they want to see, who they want to see, and how they want to see them.
Yeah, we see it in Eugene a lot. Karen Ramming over Tracktown has, the fit checks. But I like the only difference, in my opinion, is like the structure of Grand Slam is it happens before the meet, so they can actually put on a full outfit.
Yeah.
I think Hayward, you see it at pre-classic and USA Outdoors. Sometimes athletes are like, no.
Because they're like heading to race.
Yes, but you like last time we saw Tara Davis come with like an all-white outfit. It was cute. It was a cute little moment. But I think like across the board, we see it at Hayward. Now we see it at Grand Slam. I'm trying to see it at every track meet. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Because we know they can dress. Sometimes you want to see them outside of like their Nike and Adidas kit. You want to see them in their personality and all their glory.
Absolutely. All right, I want to get into Diamond League Shanghai. Johnny, you were there, so I'll let you pick which event stuck out to you the most.
Oh my gosh.
And go from there.
Yeah, I mean, there was so many to love. I did back-to-back, so I did like the first two, the Xiamen and Shanghai. I think Shanghai's a little more top of mind. I think to me, oh my gosh, it's hard to pick. But the storyline I really liked was Cordell Tinch in the 110 hurdles. Obviously, the context being that like Grant Holloway hasn't lost in like a decade, and he ends up beating him in Xiamen. And that was a pretty big deal. And then he doubles back and does number 4 all time this past Saturday in Shanghai. So I think we might see a new rising talent in Cordell Tinch here.
Yeah, I believe we have a video of his race. He went 12:87.4. I think he already had the world lead. He bested his world lead.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and watch.
Good start from Monotaki, the Japanese athlete drives low. Cordell Tinch trying to stay alongside Monotaki, but now Cordell Tinch, the American, opens up his stride. He powers through these hurdles. Cordell Tinch running away with the men's 110 hurdles. He does go underneath 13 seconds, miles under 13 seconds, 12:88 for Cordell Tinch. This man is so talented, so talented. You thought that sort of time might be possible, but at the start of May, wow, congratulations, Cordell Tinch. He slotted himself right in there in the fastest times ever. He goes ahead of Louis Zhang and equals Darren Robles.
So talk to me. Where were you at?
Yeah, so I was right there at the finish line. It was probably my favorite reaction of any of the races in between the two meets. Like, he was fired up. I think I talked with him after, like, at the airport when we were in Seoul, and he just said that to see.
Oh, that was in the airport?
Oh yeah. We had a 5-hour layover in Seoul from Hangzhou.
That's funny.
It's like, this was a great 2 weeks for you, man. Like, let's talk. And he was. The more I learned, the more I was like invested in his story. But yeah, he just said to see it. Yeah, honestly, the reason he even came to these meets was that he did it last year, and he said in the elevator that they would loop races from 2023, I guess, and it would loop him losing. And he told his agent, like, I don't care what else happens this season. We got to get back to Xiamen, and I'm going to win that race. That's like, I got to do it. So he obviously took care of business and was able, hopefully when they loop the videos next year, he'll be able to see himself winning. But
that's some motivation.
Yeah. But like, I don't know about you, but Grant, I think, gets so much of the spotlight in the hurdles that we don't always hear some of the other characters. But obviously the hurdles, very, very deep event. But yeah, he's just an interesting guy, dropped track and field for 3 years and came back 2 years ago, and within 7 months had 6 NCAA titles and was a pro with Nike and went to Budapest. And so I'm excited to continue following along with him. But yeah, 2 back-to-backs at the Diamond League. Plus they were whatever they're called, the Diamond Plus or
I'm with you. Yeah.
They have like certain events at these Diamond Leagues that are like double the prize money. So he maxed that one out.
I love it.
Cordell Tinch is so hard not to root for. Kind of just for the points you just made. His story is extremely inspiring, and the fact that of the stuff that he's doing these last few weeks, we already know indoor season Grant Holloway hasn't lost in God knows how long. But then obviously outdoor, he gave Grant Holloway his second loss in a row. First time that's ever happened to him since 2003. 2023.
Okay. Since he was 5 years old?
Since 2023, he got his first back-to-back loss by way of Cordell. And I think as if the hurdles aren't competitive enough, because it's one thing to be the best, but then obviously you have to be a super strict technician over it. Anything can happen. There's this much room, if any, for error.
Yeah.
And now you have like these rising stars. But I wouldn't even know if I'd call Cordell Tinch a rising star. He's been a star.
Yeah.
But I think the focus has just been on Grant Holloway because he's been so dominant. But then you also talk about maybe Sasha Zoya. He's been on a tear and he's been showing off his kind of versatility in the sport, his flat speed and especially over the hurdles. So it's going to be exciting to see how everybody is able to line up together once we get to see that. Yeah. And I think the current storyline of Cordell Tinch kind of just puts everyone on notice who has been asleep because he's been there.
He's been
running well.
And I feel like the reason that people might not know, he went to Pittsburgh State University, I believe, which
Pittsburgh State in Kansas.
Yeah, and I'm from Kansas. So I was like, I've been knowing who he was.
Yeah.
I think, but now, like, to y'all's point, hurdles is so technical.
Yeah.
What I can't wait to see is Grant, Cordell, Daniel Roberts, Sasha Zoya, Trey Cunningham, like all of them together. I think it's going to be fast because everybody's PBing. And I think it's just the environment and the race, and everybody has, either you have a good day, you have a bad day.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun. And I think Grant losing isn't anything crazy. I'm real with you. If anything, it might put the same fuel to the fire that Cordell had when he saw himself losing over and over and over.
Yeah.
And I want that. A lot of fire.
And we can't forget
fast times.
It's still early again. Everybody always says September is when it really, really matters. So, if that fuels somebody, then motivates others, like I'm all for it.
Yeah, I love it. All right, I do want to talk about women's 200. We got to see, I always mispronounce her name and she corrects me, but I believe it's Anavia. If it's not Anavia, it's Anavia. Sorry, girl. But she's killing it. And she won in Xiamen.
Yeah.
She won in Shanghai. She went, I believe, I wrote it down here. Maybe I didn't. She went 22 something. But let's go ahead and play the video and see.
Once again in lane 7. Women's 200 meters. Away nicely. Anavia battle with two athletes to get into her sights. Also going nicely is Prandini as well. Prandini battle and Adeleke all making good ground off the bend here, but Anavia battle is going really, really well. Also coming through nicely from lane 3 is Amy Hunt. Adeleke's got a bit of work to do, but battle is on her way. It's 2 from 2 in China in as many weeks. 22:38, a little bit quicker than Xiamen last week.
She ate that turn. She ate that turn up, and that top end speed carried her.
No, she's an amazing turn runner, and I love it. I love watching her race. I've been watching her since, I believe, Ohio State days, and she's back training in Ohio State too. She went pro, changed coaches, but then went back to her college coach, and is proving to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was all smiles, and I saw her at the airport as well, and she was very pleased with how the 2 weeks had gone.
I love it.
Yes, and she did. That wasn't very much of a close race, I would say.
It was.
Dusted them.
And I was like, maybe that she got accustomed to the time zone. That's what really made like the gap get bigger. But it was impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, impressive to say the least. I think Anavia is getting it, like in terms of like she's getting it at the right time, because now it's only up from here. I think understanding the way you run, the way you need to win, who you need to race against to do X, Y, and Z, she's getting it at the perfect time, because now all she has to do is just keep getting better. And I think for her, that's something that not necessarily effortless, but is going to be a given, being that, again, she's back with her college coach. She has her technique and form in check, and I think this is the perfect time for her to be running like this.
I can't believe I forgot to ask this, but I am just going to say I think she would be a fun challenger for Grand Slam. I would love to see her Philly, maybe LA, but she would be a fun one to watch. Go up against your Melissas, Gabbies, all of them.
The real question that's been on my mind is why is her nickname Bean?
Who?
Hers. That's what she has on Instagram, is in quotations. Bean.
Like a Navia Bean battle.
Yeah.
Hey, it is cute. I didn't hear that one, but I have no idea.
Really,
I've
I'm
known
trying
her
to
for
get
a
to the
minute
bottom
too.
of.
Those are the greats' nickname. That's Kobe's nickname.
Really?
Yeah, Kobe Bean Bryant.
Okay, so maybe I don't know anybody's nicknames. Okay. Yeah. Why is it Bean?
I actually don't know, but they be calling him Bean.
Maybe it's the same.
We gotta get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. Next
week.
episode. Next episode, we'll ask. We'll get the answer. Our final race, Nia. I'll let you talk about men's 100.
Ooh-wee. Yes, Sabina, he might be the one to beat right now. But before we talk about him, Tebogo looked a lot better. I think, again, iron sharpens iron. It was a stacked field because Shane Thompson looked great as well. And yeah, I think Sabina, he got it right. I think we have the video for it, right? Yeah, let's play that.
Great start from Simbini, also going well is Tebogo. He's made a good running as well. Azu's got a little bit of work to do. Thompson coming through. Simbini tracking him all the way. Who's going to get there? Oh, I think it's Simbini on the line, on the dip. The two share a moment. They both full clear. Thompson was ahead with 5-10 meters to go just. But did Simbini come back to just get him on the line? Yes, he did. 9:98.
Oh my gosh, your World Championships is going to be something.
Jeez.
Because there's a couple things we got to unpack about that race. Obviously, Simbine was doing what Simbine does, and he is making sure that he puts the rest of the track and field world on notice. But again, Tebogo got a lot better. He came third in that race. He looks like last week, he was like a shell of himself in terms of the 100. Clearly, he was in 400-meter form. He hasn't sharpened up. He hasn't really gotten his twitch muscles warmed up and going. For Shane Thompson, that was his season opener.
Wow.
And he was one of the first out the blocks. And obviously, maybe his top end speed is just not all the way there yet, or his finishing or closing isn't just there yet. It was a very close race, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff to unpack there. It's exciting. I'm excited.
I love it. I mean, it's nice to see him come away with a win like that. And I mean, every time there's a sub 10 performance, I'm happy. But it was definitely fun to watch.
We can't fail to mention that he went back to back. He won both in Xiamen and Shanghai, which is impressive, especially given the depth of that field.
Yeah.
So I was happy. I actually got to talk to him the day before, and he's in a good place mentally, and it's hard to pick. I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see here.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he can stay healthy, I mean, he's in the podium conversation. If we're going off of what we're seeing right now, you can't neglect the fact that he can potentially get on that podium.
I think
it's Tokyo.
I don't think it's impossible.
I'm not being a hater. I'm just saying I feel like so often we're so early in the season, and I mean athletes have their race plans, and either you're fast all year long, or maybe you peak too early. But I think he has a chance to make the final for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. But I think what if Christian fixes the race? What if there's all these does Kenny drop down to the 100 too? I feel like there's so many what ifs that I can't.
Yeah.
There is a lot of what ifs. Obviously, everyone has to be healthy, but I think from what I'm seeing right now, May 6th, I think I would potentially have him in the podium conversation. I'm always going to have Kashane in there. I'm always going to have Noah Lyles in there. Maybe even Tobogo.
Not Christian.
he's got some work to do.
But when he puts his race together, I feel like there's some.
We'll check in on this. We'll check in on that one.
I'm rooting for Christian.
Okay.
I'm rooting for Christian. I think there's some things that need to be tweaked. His start is amazing. He's amazing for 40 meters. But I wonder if it's just early for him.
Yeah.
It is early.
It is.
It's early. But I think if he can finish like the last half of his race, then 100%.
One thing Simbine said that I just think is kind of incredible is like, as if 2 weeks wasn't long enough for a lot of these athletes, he's staying for another couple of weeks for the Guangzhou World Relays.
That's smart though. Like if you're already in the time,
definitely.
and stuff, you might as well just stick it out.
Just think that's a long time to be in a.
Expensive though. But
Well, no. Here's the. If I'm going to say one thing about China, is that it is the most affordable place. It's, when people say this is more cheap, more expensive, I didn't notice it anywhere in the world except China. It's like an Uber is $2, food is like $5. I loved it. It was.
And it's probably good too.
It's great. That's the other. Okay. I swear, the hotels, like the food was better than anything I'd ever had. Like,
really?
So quality, so many options. That's all I'll say
Heavy on quality though, because I heard like American food, we have a lot more like additives and stuff.
That was a huge thing I noticed, was that the food is a lot more natural. I felt better.
Yes. I've heard people feel better.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes there's sometimes questionable ways it's presented. Like, yes, did I get a chicken head in my chicken? Yes. Did I get chicken feet? Yes.
Did you take pictures?
Yeah, I mean, we'll put that in post. But once you move past that, you realize, oh wait, this is actually pretty good. And I'm not going to eat the head, but the rest of it's fine.
He said, when you eat around it, it's fine.
Yeah, no, they eat very well out there, and it's costs what it should. It's very affordable, which is nice. So I think I summed up all my expenses from the trip. It's like not much at all, because they got to figure it out. And one more thing on China. It's such an amazing place. I was just like starstruck with it. It's so far away from like what we know here, but I really enjoyed it. I think the athletes enjoyed it too, because it's so out of all of our elements, but they brought it. The people were very warm. The stadiums were like Olympic caliber, and they're just a random.
Shanghai looks cool.
Yeah.
Like the stadium.
Yeah, it was very cool.
It was packed too.
That was the thing. The fans are very fun. Like, they brought the energy. It's like kind of maybe different than we would maybe think of from an American fan standpoint, but I loved it. Like, they were hype.
Does that fan base have something like, for example, Jamaicans have horns? I don't know what Americans have. Do we paint our stomachs? I feel like that's European though too. Is there anything that's unique to them cheering that you were like, oh?
Yeah, well, they had their own cheers that like I had never heard before, but they, all in unison, and they go on a lot longer than anywhere else. Like, they would repeat the same cheer for like 2 minutes straight. But I loved it. It was like kind of different. And then in at Worlds last month, they all had clappers, which was fun.
I like that.
But no, it was a cool experience, and just something very different from what I think a lot of us are used to.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. we have some really cool things this weekend. We're going to get into what's hot and what's the best thing that we saw last week. State in Texas happened last weekend. If you know anything about Texas, they run fast.
I don't know what's in the water.
Yeah, all the classes, all the divisions. Tate Taylor in the men's, I'm not going to say men's, the boys 100-meter dash, he set a new national record from San Antonio. He went 9.92. Let's go ahead and play the video.
One of the best starters in the game is Braden Williams, and he is there. Here comes Tate Taylor. They're neck and neck. There goes Tate Taylor. I told you Tate Taylor was one that can win it, and I think he does. We got to see this clock. 1.1, and there's a 9, a win legal 9.92. But
It was win legal.
It was win legal.
Yeah.
9.92.
Smoking.
That's insane. And also, he went against Braden Williams, who we talked about like a few episodes ago, who was at A&M and ran sub 10.
9.99 he ran?
So, like, to see them neck and neck and for Tate, new national records, insane.
Yeah, sub 10 in high school is crazy. I salute, that was Will Grundy on the call. Shout out to Miles Split. I salute him for keeping his composure.
Yeah.
I would have been on that mic, oh my God.
Like in high school, running those types of times. I hate to say it, we just saw those times in Shanghai,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
If he did
and
this in
Grand Slam,
Shanghai,
Miami.
If he did this in Shanghai, we might be,
Yeah, of course, environment matters and that changes things. But yeah, it's so impressive to see. Yeah.
Give Simbina a run for his money.
You see him on the podium, Nia?
I listen. Anything is possible in track and field.
I love
Anything
it.
is possible.
I love it. I want to get into one more. Athlos. The first time it started was last year. It started by Alexis Ohanian. They had basically, it's a women's track and field meet for those that don't know. If you know track and field, you know what this meet is. But it happened in New York. It's happening in New York again in 2025. And they basically have everything, I believe, from the 8 and down. But no, only hurdle event is 100 hurdles. They don't do 400 hurdles. But they announced that they're adding in field events now. So they had a whole thing. Tara Davis-Woodhall is headlining the women's long jump. I don't know what else they're going to add, but they had like a whole sand pit moment. But it's really exciting to see field get involved because you don't see field involved in Grand Slam, which RIP to field in that way. But I'm glad that Athlos is like, bring it in. What are y'all's thoughts on it?
Tara's kind of having a moment right now. It's like the month of Tara.
Tara?
It's
okay.
Pardon me, Tara. Yeah, she's at, like with her Nike deal and headlining Athlos. It's a good time to be her.
Yeah, I forgot about the Nike deal. I don't know how I could forget her and Hunter. It was cute.
I'm so excited. For sure. For sure. I'm so excited for this to be included into Athlos. I think with field event athletes, people tend to forget that they are the most expressive people in track and field.
Yeah.
Maybe whether they're super happy about their jump or maybe disappointed, you're going to see it all over when they run over to their coach. Maybe if they're as expressive as Tara is. Like I want to see them really go all out. If they're able to do this, Athlos, credit me if you guys do this. Make the sand pink. Glitter, like, let her jump in some pink glittery sand.
That would be so cute. I don't know if Icon will let that happen, but that would be cute. Honestly, I could do a little petition. I could help clean it up. No, I can help put it in. I don't know about clean up, but
like pink glitter. I'm seeing it right now. Pink glitter sparkles. Tara's cowboy hat at the end of, or cowgirl hat at the end of the pit. Something where you're really able to see like her personality in between these jumps, because this is one of those events where you take seriously, but you're also going to have fun with it.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that. I think she is the perfect addition to kind of kick off the start of their field event entries into this meet. I think they got it right. They hit the nail on the head with having her in here.
The other thing I'm keeping a watch on is, they had Megan Thee Stallion, of course, last year. We haven't had announcement yet of who's going to headline. It's like the Coachella of track and field.
I know Alexis Ohanian was at Texas Relays asking everybody, like, who do you want to be here? Heard a lot of Rihanna's, but then Rihanna was just at the Met Gala and she's pregnant again. It's not Rihanna. I'm excited. Yeah. And I think they said somebody else, and Alexa was like, our budget isn't that big. It was like Beyonce or something, but hey.
I'm sure it's going to be good.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Stop her tour real quick just to come to Athlos. I think it works.
She could fit it in.
I think so.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see who they end up picking. We have some time, though.
We do. I remember Alexis Holmes said at Milrose, she wanted to see Janae Aiko. And I was like, I mean, if I want to cry, yeah.
Trying to cry at the track meet?
But I will be singing my heart out because Demitra knows anytime we're at a meet together and I hear a song, I'm like, oh, girl, they want me to sing.
No, she's like,
they
this
want
is
me
my
to sing.
song.
They want me to sing in here.
No, for real. There's some track meets that have really good music.
Yeah.
Like if I was an athlete getting my blocks, I would be having a good time.
That's a
Balance
big
really well with
responsibility.
that.
You don't realize like how critical the DJ is at a track
Yeah.
meet to set the mood and the tone for the fans and the athletes. That's a big role to have.
Yeah. In another life, I might be a DJ. I heard female DJs are like elite. I don't. Yeah.
100%.
So stay tuned. Might be my next endeavor. Track meet DJ.
They're the best. They're the best.
Yeah. I do have one more video. We're going to circle back to Grand Slam.
Okay.
Because we have to talk about it. So, as we know, we see people who oftentimes in the track and field space have to work other jobs because the sport, unfortunately, doesn't pay well. Or I guess necessarily people's work.
Historically, at least.
Historically, yeah. Yeah, we're making progress a little bit on the track side. But I think that we see now that we have Dylan Beard, who at the time, he no longer works at Walmart now, but he was working at Walmart and running, and then his story made it out when he won Milrose, and then he got a Walmart
Hey,
contract.
Walmart's first professional athlete, huh?
Exactly. I told him, I said, let me know when there's a uniform drop, because, he said not yet, but you see him. And then recently, Ja'Cory Patterson came out and said that he works at UPS, which, spoiler alert, a lot of these athletes have jobs.
Yeah. Well, he's not just working UPS, he's working the night shift, right?
Yeah, well,
Up at 4 a.m.
for practice, because he works the night shift. The video's on our Instagram, but yeah, working the night shift because he has to wake up for practice and do all these things to be a great athlete. Came out here at Grand Slam. It's insane. Yeah, no, it's incredible. It's also crazy that professional athletes are like.
Wait, did he win?
He won the 400 world lead 43.9.
Yeah,
Casual.
and I think he got second overall and got 50,000, I believe.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, but then afterwards, we had a chance to talk to Michael Johnson about his viewpoints. And mind you, Michael Johnson's a former athlete, so let's hear from him on his thoughts on this whole situation of working while running.
Exactly one of the reasons. I mean, there are many reasons, but they all come back to one thing, and that is that this sport is amazing. It has amazing athletes, and the sport has been underappreciated, undermonetized, undervalued, and it's underperforming. And who are the victims of that? The athletes. So here you got a world-class athlete, one of the best in the world, running 43 seconds in the 400. It's not easy to do. Not a lot of people can say they can do that. And he's loading trucks, going to work at 4 a.m. That's insane. And so then an athlete like that, how many athletes over the last 30 years have decided it's not worth it, I need to go feed my family, I need to go make a living, and I don't want to wake up one day having poured 5-10 years into this and end up regretting it because I never was able to make an Olympic team or world championship team, because it's the only way you really truly can make any money. And you got to go and get a medal in order to be able to actually be able to make money. Even sometimes that, if you get an injury, contract's gone, right? So that's just not right. So that's why Grand Slam track exists, to elevate the sport. And when you elevate the sport, you elevate all of the athletes, and regardless of what level they're at. Somebody's going to say, yeah, but you're giving the money to all of the people who already, deserve it. People are saying are already making money. People said that. Ja'Cory wasn't making any money. He was working at UPS. Dylan's working at Walmart, right? These guys are now making money, so it's not just the people at the top, but you need the people at the top. They're the ones that create. Nobody. Look, I'm going to be completely honest. Nobody came here to see Ja'Cory. Now they will. They didn't come here to see Ja'Cory. If we didn't have Sydney, if we didn't have Kenny, if we didn't have Gabby, if we didn't have them, nobody's coming.
He's so right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hit the nail on the head. I think something, and maybe it's strong to say, but I fully believe track and field needs Grand Slam. They need them, because I think a lot of people got very comfortable with them getting paid pennies or nothing at all. They're running times that nobody can even think about running, let alone have the ability to. There's no reason why Ja'Cory is sitting here unsigned. I mean, I know he's with the Tracksmith amateur program, if I am not.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
He is. But Tracksmith, I mean, the way that program is set up, it doesn't pay like your regular brand.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Which is why he has to supplement it with UPS. But there's no reason why he's so gifted and he has these abilities. and he has to work the night shift, get off at 4 a.m., go to practice at 8 a.m., then have to tweak his sleep so that he can make sure he's up and running, because he still has a job to do.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're employed for that job, your employer does not really care what you're doing outside of that. So kind of with that being said, the sport does need Grand Slam, because somebody needs to open somebody's eyes to be like, hey, they need to be paid a substantial amount so they can work on their craft, hone in on their craft, practice, train, do everything that is very much so pertinent for a athlete to succeed. And despite him not having the time, the rest, the recovery to do everything he's doing, he's still coming out here and performing well. And I really do hope to see him in Philly.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. As an agent in the space too, so many athletes work. Like so many, like it's concerning.
And let's not forget, that's a very physical job.
It is. And
lifting, and
I think it's hard. It's tough for athletes though to find jobs that can work with the practice schedule in the middle of the day. Yeah.
That's respect. It makes it all the more impressive, and especially when they come out with something good like he did.
Yeah. Not to mention how dangerous it is. You know, this is not a team sport where you can rely on your teammate to maybe, you know, sub in or whatever because you may be tired or whatever the case may be. You're putting your body through a lot with the sport alone, and then now add in your loading boxes in a UPS truck. It's extremely dangerous. And even without considering loading boxes, recovery, rest, sleep is extremely important in this sport. You're not supposed to really go, as a human being, you should have 8 hours of sleep per day. But now as a track and field athlete, an individual sport, you are your team, your body is one. And he's probably not substantially getting enough on a regular basis.
I think it's so impressive though to take that into account and then for him to come up with that time. Yeah. Because I think people who do that, sometimes the times don't match what they're capable of. But for him to be able to execute that is amazing. I do hope a brand sees him, because I think oftentimes a lot of these shoe brands only care if you have a medal, make a team and get a medal.
I feel like, I don't know if it's just me or maybe we're paying more attention to it, but I think something like Grand Slam, more of these stories seem to be getting elevated. And once people know their stories to go along with the performances, it makes it more compelling to kind of give them opportunities like a contract. And so let's hope it's not much longer. He's gonna be working the night shift.
I mean, if he keeps running Grand Slam, he won't need it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's good, like, you know, to your point, Johnny, that Grand Slam is deciding to step away from the norm, because it's kind of been hush hush or a bit taboo, or it's a thing where it's like, here's how we're gonna do this. You run your time. If someone picks you up, then yay. But let's not talk about it, because that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Michael Johnson decided, you know what? Yeah, that's how it is, but that doesn't make it right. This is very wrong. These are not regular human beings. They should be getting, first of all, treated at a level of celebrity that matches their ability, and then secondly, get paid as such.
Yeah, no, it's about time athletes get paid their worth, and hopefully we get into the field event side of things.
I know.
But I mean, track is the first priority for Grand Slam, obviously, but it's about time. And I think my hot take, I think shoe brands have too much of a role in track and field. And I think that Grand Slam is truly going to help grow the sport. That makes me excited.
No, for sure.
Let's move on to Philly, counting down the days.
I love
Let's
it.
get it.
Y'all are going. I won't be there. I'm sad.
LA will be here soon.
FaceTime me. I'm available. Just let me know if y'all need an extra body. I'll be there.
I'm gonna FaceTime you into Philly.
No, you actually should. I want to see the different setup compared to pin relays.
I will.
I've only ever seen pin.
No, I'll FaceTime you in. You should fly in, but I'll FaceTime you in, and
I'll come in. I think we have a Diamond League show because Rabat is that same weekend towards the end. Yeah, I'll be hanging back for that.
Okay, I'll FaceTime you.
Yeah, no, FaceTime me beforehand. Okay. The first 2 days I'm available.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, that wraps up episode 9. If you want to hear or see anything else, I'll put our contact information in the description. Reach out, let us know what you want to see on the next episode. Thank y'all for watching the meetup presented by Wonderful Pistachios. I'm your host, Demitra Carter, joined with Johnny and Nia, and I will see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.